Now, good sir, we have a situation here. We have a little repeat of a previous matchup, but this time it's Marinelord. Marinelord on the pink deli, and I love this for Marinelord. Beautiful color here, lovely.
Yeah, and on the other side, in the color green, playing as the Marlians, we got Numudan.
And Numudan
We got
with...
player portraits now. Amazing.
Yeah, they were
Top
always
notch
here.
production.
I just forgot to press them actually, so this is more a skill issue. An observer, caster, double spectator skill issue than it was not having them. Apologies, guys. This is all on
Yeah, you
Whamen.
got quality difference in all kind of professions.
But we can see here the French Marinelord, he has been dominating the scene for a very, very long time. And Numudan here with his holding that Swedish flag up high, representing Vess, he wants to make it that second Vess player to come to the Homestead Cup. Because right now, it's just Anatand. And their team is pretty large at this point. We do want to see more Vess blood making their way through.
Well, maybe you're lucky and we Oasis will qualify next week.
Yeah, the Oasis is our dark horse waiting
she
around.
is best, you know.
Now, early game, of course, nothing really happens between the Delhi and the Marlians. Delhi and Marlians, same old, same old. Delhi goes for free upgrades. Marlians, they have houses. Wow. Wonderful start here from both of them. No crazy things happening. But of course, with Marlians not getting any action in the Dark Age, it does mean that they just get to have their opening exactly as they want him.
Yeah, with 7 houses again, he's gonna have 3 cows and the cattle ranch ready when he hits feudal. So that's some nice food income immediately from the start. Marinelord going up with the Dome of the Fate again, so we got these cheap, slower made scholars. That's gonna heal the units, take the sacred size in feudal days, because that's what Delhi does.
Now, I actually wanted to point something out here, guys. Numudan, he's got a forward gold here. A forward gold here. No other gold to fall back on it, which is always also on the same side. Even if he makes a wall, he doesn't really secure any resources. While Marinelord here has gold on the one side, gold on the other side, and a simple enough wall to secure these resources too. And ladies and gentlemen, I call this a Marinelord spawn. And I might be thinking it wasn't a beastie spawn all along. The Marinelord spawn is not just about his spawn, it's about his opponent's spawn as well.
Yeah, we see the first sofa coming out and second stable coming up, so Numudan gonna invest in a lot of sofas, trying to get the second pit mine up, but already getting harassed by those Gazis, and the scout trying to take on as much burn damage as they can, because those gold mines, those gold veins, do give passive gold.
Now the nice little passive gold trickle coming in from the 45 gold per minute here with one house around, but we can see almost 100 gold per minute coming from the other one. And now Numudan is just going to let those cows do the talking. And already having 3 cows in here means that he's ahead quite a bit already with that villager count. Now, of course, with the cows, you're investing your resources into them, so it does mean that you didn't spend those initial resources on actual units. And it does make it a little bit harder to get going. But between all of this now, we're already going to be at 125 food per minute between the two of these. And that is fantastic this early in the game. That means you basically have a sofa free per minute.
Yeah, we see all the upgrades from Delhi, which are free but just take time. And I love how Marina already has a blacksmith up. That's what I was missing in the last couple of Delhi games. Not enough military upgrades, because they are free as well. So you only build a blacksmith for 150 wood and you can queue up all those juicy upgrades.
Now, the Spanish brothers showed us the way of playing Delhi by getting double blacksmiths and really capitalizing on that freeness. But Marinelord, he's the kind of guy who invests in rather getting another production building and starting from there. And of course, this makes sense. You want to get your units out on the map as fast as possible to handle the Malian economy. Right now, Malians is already slowly getting ahead. Now 150 food per minute already coming in for free. And now they're going to start to do these little raids all around the map. One of the first scholars going down here, and this is a massive pickup this early in the game.
Yeah, those first couple of scars are so important to get the quick timing on the Sacred Sites, because Sacred Sites give gold, give 100 gold a minute if you own them, but they give 125 gold if you dally.
Now that's a massive amount, and you can just imagine how that can skyrocket you, especially against a civilization that thrives off of their free resources as well. Now with the pit mine going down, it does mean that the gold axis is a little bit less, but you can see those sofas trading out effectively already. The problem is just if they don't kill them, they're gonna come back harder, and that's exactly what's gonna happen here with these guys. Just gonna go back and heal up, while the sofas, they are damaged for life.
Yes, they're hurt, but they're gonna get healed up and they'll haunt you until all the way over the map. We got some villagers on gear already for Numudan, so he's already taking some additional food. I wonder if Marinelord will sniff that out.
Marinelord is clearly locked in on these sacred sites for as long as possible. Already the scholars in a little bit of danger here, but the Ghazi Raiders, you cannot ignore the pure numbers. Because of course they do that little bit of extra damage against armored units. So even though the Sofas will trade out better against them, it's not just like a normal all horseman trying to fight this fight. And he doesn't get this cap, but he might just be happy with this trade already. He has 3 on gold, even while having 2 sacred sites. Now, pulling them off, he realizes this is going to be more than enough, and he can just keep that production going. Now, the market coming in as well, and this is usually the sign of a Delhi who's a very, very happy gold gatherer.
Yeah, there's also usually a sign of someone who wants to duke it out in feudal and doesn't really interested in going to castle. He's just gonna make a lot of units, which he can because he doesn't have to invest into either eco tax or military tax or something else of that kind. And he can just spam units for days. He already took down the pit mine once, and he's probably gonna go for it again.
Now, for now, he wants to shut down all these sofas, just trying to have a blast by decapping, but we do see the massive amount of units going down here. The problem is, with this amount of units, we do have a set number of archers running around too. And this is usually where things get out of control. These groups of archers can easily be intercepted with this very heavy Ghazi-focused army. The Marinelord only starting to add in some archers now. It shows you he knows what's going to work, and what's going to work is just horses. Horses, horses, horses. And they've shown us why that is the case. Now, that mobility already going to be finding him some stray villagers, no one going down, but it definitely keeps Numudan busy while he's just happily capping these sites.
Yeah, you get such a strange game because Marinelord was adding in archers, then saw a lot of archers from Numudan himself and decided to double down on the horses. Sofas do have a heavy melee tag, so you would say they are stronger than the Ghazi. But the Ghazi is getting these insane amount of masses, already 23 Ghazis against 15 Sofa. And they are a little bit faster, and like we talked about before, mobility is so important because you can decide when to fight.
Now, the Sacred Site victory has started, but this is not what Marinelord is aiming for. We can see that with the amount of Ghazis he's still producing. And now the Sofas need to back off here. Those Ghazi numbers are scary. The archers, they're not going to have the greatest of trades here. As we know, they don't even have +1 attack, but the Sofas, they're taking a decent enough fight here. But with the army value, we can see which way that is going to be going. Already, Malian's bleeding quite a bit here. The archers firing away, but they're barely making a dent in any of these. Sofas doing a decent job with this, but again, we just don't feel the archers in this composition, and you can see that trade very much went the way of Marinelord.
Yeah, Numudan tried his best, like he got a really good choke point, so a lot of the Ghazi were running around and not attacking really. That's because they were higher unit mass than Numudan at range, but even with such a good fight, he still lost out on the fight, and there's so many Sofas went down. He only has 7 Sofa left, and Marinelord still has 18 Ghazi.
Marinelord's army is looking fierce, and getting 3 scouts in here tells me this man's most likely scouting soon. Yep. He's ahead, but he wants food as well, and that just makes sense. You already have full map control, you have everything control. You might as well just get all the rest of the deer and not worry about a thing. But now, with all of the gold he's starting to bank up, he's just not able to spend everything from all of these sources of income just pumping right through. We can see that the Sofa Numudan is desperately trying to decap this. The Sofas are going to be struggling to stop this because, again, these Ghazis are doing such a good job at just being so mobile and trading effectively. The charges from the Sofas, they'll be able to get a few hits in before the Ghazis back off if they feel under pressure.
Yeah, the Pro Scouts is also a free upgrade for Delhi because everything is free. And getting a couple of scouts to take all the tiers on the map, that's possible. Why not? Because you got the upgrade anyway, you got the stables anyway. Even with the Scholar in the stable, you get 100% more production, so the scouts are getting out really quickly. Meanwhile, in the middle, taking even more fights and even getting better trades than Numudan. Slowly but surely, Marinelord is shutting Numudan down.
You can see those scouts are trying to be a little naughty, doing a nice little yoink here, or at least attempting to, but it's just about the 9 food from his opponent, and not really about getting it for himself. Now, we can see the Sofa trades, they are just not feeling that good. Marinelord not really investing in too many scholars here. He's being very conservative about that gold spend and getting it all just focused on the Ghazis, but the Sofas are going to get a decent charge off here.
Yeah, another pit mine goes down, and he has a marker to trade a little bit of gold for food and wood if he wants to, but every time you trade, the trade gets a little bit worse, so the first time you lose like 30 resources and it adds up. So at some point it's just good to bank some food and go to the next age, but Marinelord opting to buying more food and making more Ghazi.
Now, you can see this is just a desperate man trying to keep the tower alive, but there's no answer to these units here. Now, with Numudan, he's trying to pop in and out and repair the tower for as long as possible because he knows that's going to be 5 dead villagers. He might as well try to repair it. And quickly, Marinelord gets us around. But you can see he's not just looking at closing out those dead villagers, but rather getting the whole of the economy, again, a full army of Ghazis, not a single bit of diversity.
Yeah, these are such amazing plays. Like you hope to get like 1 or 2 fills, but he even gets the 5 fills on the top tower, and even gets like 5 or 6 fills on the bottom tower, and a fill from the wood line. And before you know it, you're 11 fills down. But also Sofa diving the base of Marinelord, so it's gonna be a base trade on fills. Who has the better multitasking? Who has the better micro? We can run better with fills.
And with the villager counts, you can already see what that answer is. Marinelord at 0 villager deaths and being the only one that has all the kills in his side. And another bunch of villagers being under siege here. And another one will fall. So now up to 12. Absolutely disgusting here with the Sofas desperately trying to get home and shut this down. Now Numudan, he does have quite a bit of cows here, but you can see he's starting to snack on them. There's no other food source for him. He is starving. Villagers just constantly running for their lives, and Marinelord knows where he needs to hit. He needs to hit in the free resources, and those are the pit mines.
Yeah, Marinelord already has such a huge eco. If you look at the food income, it's already 1100 a minute. So if he just cancels the production of those couple of cars, he waits 30 seconds, he can easily age up and put the cat in the bag.
And Marinelord realizes he doesn't need to just keep making Ghazis, and 4 more Ghazis in queue. Now bringing the scholars forward for the heals. He is just looking at closing this out with an only horse composition. And honestly, this is just showing us that that one-dimensional composition, if you don't look at punishing it, it's quickly going to snowball out of control. Numudan just going for constant Sofas, it's just not doing the work it needed to. But you can see he gets another bunch of stray villagers here on the berries, and scholars might be going down here by the hands of the Sofas, but that's not going to be enough. He can kill all those scholars and he'll still be in a perfectly good spot, as we see Marinelord queuing up another bunch of scholars behind this. And the Ghazi Raiders, they're trying to find the damage, but the damage has already been found. The pit mine burning down yet again, and another wave of them coming through. Numudan has had enough.
Yeah, and we're gonna try to add in some Danzo, but there were so many Ghazi running around already. He already lost so much eco that the game was over.
Now, I also am just wondering why there were no Donzos, but I guess it's because of the archers that he had seen earlier, or the archery range at least. And quickly, Marinelord reading into that, just saying, you're not going to be making anything else. My units are a bit cheaper. I have a lot more economy. Let's just see how this goes for you. But guys, let's head back. Oh, that was very quick. I may have forgotten to add the transition to this. But guys, we are going into Socotra, and we haven't seen Socotra this weekend at all. Now, why do you think that is?
Ooh, it's a pretty small map. It's a pretty niche map. Like you have the option to dock and build a military ship, airship, and then you can easily arrest the gold of the opponent. So it can really catch you off guard. As far as I know, players just prefer like Dry Arabia because it's just a well-balanced spawn map.
So with Socotra, a lot of people, I think, are a bit scared of the RNG-ness of it as well. A lot of players have some good strategies that they try to force out of. But we'll see if Mr. Numudan is going to be one of those with the crazy strategies, because he just lost the last game. So this was his choice. So guys, let's hop on in and see what Marinelord and Numudan will be cooking for us on Socotra. Now, early game. Green Numudan. If it's green, it's healthy. He is gonna be living his best life. But keep in mind, very small map. This is something that AoE flourishes on.
And on the south side, the guy, je ne parle pas néerlandais, c'est Marinelord on Macedonian Dynasty.
Okay, that was... we should definitely do a little bit of a French accent here. Right now, Marinelord is thinking to himself, what am I even going to do against the Obits? It's such a shitty civilization. I can take this down when I'm sleeping. So I don't know what Numudan is even trying to do.
You cannot even take boar with Ayubis because camels don't like boars and they eat broks, not really meat.
Okay, now time for us to do the Swedish one here on the other side. Tutti frutti, we are going to play a little bit against the Macedonian dynasty. They are a very good composition, or a very good civilization right now, and I think this is going to be difficult.
Pippity pappity poopity pappity, poaching fish.
Something sticky fish. Ja, det är väldigt vanskelig idag. So, Numudan knows this is going to be a difficult one. And
this is some top tier casting, like nobody's gonna top that.
Now, guys, I know what you're thinking. Wow, are they actually native Swedish and French speakers? No, we are not, but we are just the top of the top casters here for you to bring you the best accents of the week. Now, unfortunately on this channel, you do not have the redemption point for accents, but we do have something even better. We have a boar. The problem is the boar here is supported by 2 wolves, really just the bodyguards of the boar. But luckily, Mr. Marinelord has 5 very high functional heads, and they are all saying the same thing. Just pull him to safety, scout, back off. And the boar, you will now be deliciously eaten by all of my workers. But the bodyguard's coming in a little bit too late, doing a little bit of damage, but just not enough.
Yeah, nice take of that boar just outside of the wolf aggro range. Managed to secure 2000 food pretty close to his base even. That's what a lot of people love to do on this map, taking the boar in the middle. And Marinelord does the same, so he's got a nice food income now. Probably gonna take survival techniques to boost that food income. Meanwhile, Numudan going up with culture and logistics, so it's gonna be dervishes.
Now, dervishes is the same thing every single time we see from the AoE. If it's a standard game, it's a nice little dervish game. But the Hippodrome coming out, what a surprise! I'm joking. Of course, same thing here as well. Macedonian Dynasty, it's a one-size-fits-all. Hippodrome is always going to be the best answer to any question you may have.
Yeah, Marinelord just gotta decide for himself how much he want to contest the map with a couple of horsemen, or maybe a couple of the... horsemen.
Horsemen.
Not really else he can make. Yeah, it's just gonna be horsemen because they beat desert raiders, they beat archers, and Numudan, I don't really think he's gonna opt for spears because spears aren't really the best unit Ubis can produce. They most likely want to go to some type of camel.
Yeah, the nice thing about the AoE is they have an answer to the horses. They have dervishes. And you're wondering, yeah, but what about the dervishes? what about if he goes for dervishes? Every single time you can answer with the dervishes. So with these dervishes, as long as he doesn't lose them, he should be able to trade out effectively no matter the unit that comes his way. But not for too long, of course, because once the Radari champion comes out, things do get a little bit out of hand.
Yeah, they're such a powerful unit, they're really quick, so it's really difficult to catch them. Even with a relic, they still have a really high movement speed. They heal themselves with an aura, they heal units around you, but they can also single target heal. And healing a feudal is just so strong.
And now with that stable coming out, I am ready to see what Numudan has on his radar, but double stable. Oh my goodness, Numudan, he's going to be an aggressive boy, and that I am ready for. Now, especially with the fact that we are still going for gold, but we have enough production buildings to actually put the pressure down. I love this. I just can see this being something he needs to punish, and he knows it. But, of course, with the horseman out and soon to be the scout out as well, this is going to start being a little bit harder to do. He has to be careful, even with these dervishes.
Yeah, I was finding it so funny with the U-boats, like, doesn't matter if they build stable or archer range, they will make desert raiders. And the desert raiders are a good choice against the horsemen of Marinelord. They can even snipe with a ranged attack, try to get some vills. And Marinelord protecting his boar vills with a couple of horsemen and a champion he already has.
Now, with these horses, he's able to sustain against most things, at least initially. But we do see with the Desert Raider numbers, it's going to start getting scarier and scarier. Yes, horses do beat Desert Raiders, but with the right micro, you should be able to trade out quite well, especially with the support unit that's standing right behind them. Double stable is making this possible for him. Now, behind all of this, not getting any upgrades, which I'm kind of surprised about, especially staying in feudal. He's definitely just going to try and make sure that he gets as much as he can on the ground. But with this, at the same time, cavalry, now getting their bit of armor and extra HP, is going to make sure that these horses take a lot more of a punch before they go down.
Yeah, Marinelord already taking a couple of eco upgrades because they scale really well. Like, it's 150 resources for the eco upgrade, depending on which you take. But it is a 15% increase on the gathering rate of those villagers. So it pays off really quickly.
Now, with Numudan poking his head out here already, the dervishes, Marinelord knows he needs to pull back, but it doesn't matter. He's gotten his value from this boar, and he had no consequences thereof. Now there's just going to be a bunch of camels trying to poke at an eco that doesn't want to be poked. But Marinelord, he's got some other plans.
No, that's the cheeky thing about Socotra. Like, you can, with a good spawn, deny all the gold. Sometimes you have a small gold vein in the middle of the Socotra, but you also have these Socotra spawns where all the gold veins are near the coast. So one airship can deny all the gold if you're lucky. For Numudan, he has lucky that there's at least a couple of gold veins in the middle of the island, so he's not cut off completely from gold, but it's gonna be an issue.
Now, with that boat slowly making its way through, Numudan is asking himself, okay, how do I actually do damage to this? Because that is, I think, the question everyone's asking. There's nowhere that he can go and really effectively trade. Maybe trying to sneak in here, but then that just means he's going to be behind all of those horses that can surround and do the real damage. But with the dock from Numudan, he's ready to respond to this galley and quickly pulls off the villagers from the gold in timely fashion. There is not going to be anything dangerous waiting for him.
Yeah, that's a nice response from Numudan, already saving all those villagers from certain doom. Meanwhile, getting more and more berries. First berry packs almost run out. Marinelord banking some resources now, maybe slowly trying to get to castle, but also adding in some spearmen already against all those desert raiders, camels, but it's gonna be difficult to catch them.
Those spearmen are going to be quite punishing for someone if they don't micro. Now, Numudan, he's good at what he does, but if there's someone who can make this work, it's definitely Marinelord, and Marinelord already making it work by getting 5 villagers in the early stages of the game. Absolutely disgusting. very, very quickly, just getting himself this far ahead. But now with these Desert Raiders, he's able to pick off 2 horses, but honestly, definitely worth it.
Yeah, it's gonna be difficult with those Desert Raiders to dive with TC, even with the Dervishes healing back them, because they have very low armor. No ranged armor as of yet for Numudan. I don't think he has a blacksmith yet even. And Marinelord is feeling pretty confident.
Marinelord is in a wonderful position here because from this spot he gets to decide what is next. But apparently what's next is a market. He needs to trade. Right now the food is running a little bit low. He does have the berry patches to fall back on, but he doesn't really have a ranged attack to deal with these guys. So now, yes, those horses were great, but you just spent a lot of resources on that. Now, of course, there's still a champion who's going to be making his way out, and that might make this a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, at least Numudan has the camel on ease. Like the camels, they can look at your horses and they get afraid and do 20% less damage. Villagers are almost getting dived upon, but at the last second they get chased away. The horsemen trying to connect, spearmen trying to connect as well, but this is the mobility issue that you got. Desert Raiders can just kite and shoot from a distance and take the fight whenever they want to, and slowly but surely more and more units are dying.
Now, what's very surprising to me here is we're already seeing a little bit of a weakness here from Numudan. He's not able to control these dervishes as effectively with the dervishes, and this could cost him the game. Those attacks, the attack moves that he missed out on is massive, but the champion has arrived, and we all know what that champion is. Now, with these Desert Raiders, he's trying to get a little bit of damage done. He knows he suffered a lot here. But this army is starting to be scary enough for him to need to back off. Now more camels joining the party, but again, they're just not doing it at the right time every single time. These camels are just not able to trade as effectively. He's trying to get those spears out quickly, but the horses are starting to catch up, and this might just be the most dangerous fight of his life.
Yeah, that's really getting a lot of damage, but getting healed at the last second. Even hitting with the swords, and then after that sniping with the arrows. That's the fun thing you can do with those Desert Raiders. You can switch between melee and ranged, so you can pick off units that are trying to get away or barely able to stay alive. Numudan backing off again, and Marinelord trying to retake his boar in the middle with the tower.
Now, getting this ball back is 1,200 food, which means he doesn't need to think about food for another 1,200 food. That is a significant amount of time he's got to get himself at least an age up if he wanted to, because right now he's not investing in any units. But you can see this type of pressure here coming out from Numudan. He knows he needs to do damage, and he needs to do it now. This is going to start getting worse and worse as time goes on, because Aopids is also not a civilization that is doing too well with the later feudal age. Now, you do have your 2 dervishes doing work, but this might not be enough when these numbers start gathering. And as I say that, he's switching to the archers, which makes a lot of sense. He needs to find an answer to these Desert Raiders.
Yeah, and archers are really cost efficient against those Desert Raiders. Of course, Desert Raiders are faster, so they can pick the fight when they want to, but in a straight up fight, archers are better. That's the nice thing about Macedonia City. They can make spearmen and archers from the same building, and now we got a double engagement on the bottom side and the top side.
Now those Desert Raiders are just doing their best at kiting back and forth, but the Drawman is showing us how ships are supposed to melt, with Numudan just losing focus completely. Now that water fight is for the fishers. Let's go back to our Desert Raiders, so we can see the Desert Raiders able to get picked off at least a little bit here. And Numudan, he's going for castle, but Marinelord, he's thinking the same. He's just being a little bit more responsible about it. With the food getting less and less close to his base, he's got to be careful.
Yeah, at some point your eco just gets so big, and Demo gonna be able to hit those Droman, and the fire against fire, and the Droman goes down. The airship trying to take down the Springald ship, but probably not gonna make it. No, he's trying to kite away, and now the Demo ship coming in, and that Demo ship will destroy that other ship.
Now, we are going to keep an eye on both fights, don't worry, Twitch chat, but it does look like the ship eventually had fallen with that connection from our demo. Now, of course, here, getting reinforcement wing, I'm actually quite surprised to see this. You are constantly going to have camels, sure, but is this going to be the amount of value you need to actually shut down the Macedonian dynasty? You're going to be having Desert Raiders against a ton of archers here from Marinelord. And Marinelord, he's getting a +1 ranged upgrade as well. This is going to be starting to do a lot more work as these Desert Raiders engage in on. And you can see very quickly one getting picked off. Ooh, never mind, not getting picked off quickly enough, but it does look like these trades are not going as effective as they used to. Another camel going down, 3 just quickly falling to the ground, and this is going to give Marinelord the breathing chance he needs to actually go and win this.
Yeah, still 1 minute till reinforcement. Kind of unusual thing for castle, but at least your camels can make siege now, because Marinelord has a lot of archers. If you just can pump out 1 or 2 Manjaniques, that would be amazing for a direct fight. And Numudan's gonna try to capitalize on his castle age timing, but he's gonna have a problem with food. Food on the right side is being denied, but he still has a barrier on the left.
Now Marinelord knows exactly what's in store for him. Going for the blacksmith, I love this. But the Golden Horn Tower coming up on a very cheeky... Actually, I'm actually thinking this is not a cheeky enough spot. He's not securing the gold here, but honestly, it doesn't feel like Numudan is able to shut down any gold right now anyway. There's still a back one to fall on. But the blacksmith going down just means that those archers are going to be hitting like trucks for a while. And you can see the idle time on the villagers is starting to come out with the food. There's just none of it.
Yeah, you see the resource income tab above. Like, it's 500 food against 800. It's 160 wood against 500. It's 600 gold against 300. So that's the only resource that Numudan has more than Marinelord, and he's queuing up all those upgrades now for castle. You know, the veteran C, and we would have really liked some blacksmith upgrades as well, but still, first he will need to build a new blacksmith, and Marinelord is just banging on the door.
Marinelord's banging is getting a little bit loud as well, because these units of his are going to be veterans very soon, and there's not a lot to deal with them. Now, a Manganel, or Manjanique, sorry guys, a Manjanique, he is going to provide a little bit of a source of presence, but it's going to need to be a very deadly shot to make this worth it. Now, with the camels, all of this is going on, and he's trying to find an opening, but both of them being quite conservative about this. They know how risky this could get. With the camels staying in the base, but behind this, Marinelord just getting his strongholds, making sure that his areas are safe. This does feel like Numudan is just sitting on the back foot waiting for Marinelord to make a mistake. But that's not the way Marinelord operates.
Now we see the double Manjanique incoming. Manjanique, they can throw stones like your regular Mangonel, but you can also put it on fire, and then it does a lot of damage against buildings, so it's really good at taking down like towers or production, or even a Golden Horn Tower if he wants to.
Now, with Marinelord's presence out here, he's starting to become scarier and scarier as time goes on. We now see another upgrade here for our archers, which just is going to mean it's going to get even harder for Numudan to really break through with all these ranged attacks. That is the only thing he's got in his army. Yes, we've got 3 camel lancers, but at the same time, we do not have enough to actually take this down. I'm so confused. There's nothing in queue for him here. He's got the resources for something. Oh, never mind. The only something he's hoping to make is a Manjanique.
Yeah, he's going for the mass siege threat. You know, siege is OP, and then the one with the most siege will win. At least that's what he's hoping to achieve. I do agree with not making too many camel lamps. Camel lamps are not the most cost-efficient unit, even though they're a really cool unit and they really hard counter other knights. But Marinelord, having a big spearman archer composition, yeah, they should be able to take out those 23 Desert Raiders.
You can see with him moving out on the map, it's starting to become scarier and scarier, because Marinelord is slowly getting everywhere. We can see he knows exactly what's going on, where it's going on, where every villager might be. And look at that, the camels. He knows where the camels are. This is his moment, and he knows he gets to move out here all for free.
Yeah, I see all the camels on the right side, so we can target Eco on the left side. There's still some barriers on the left side, there's still some wood on the left side. You can try to pick up some vills, check if there is anything to do. We see a lot of gold in the bank from Marinelord. Of course, you want to keep on gathering gold and stone for the silver income, and the silver can be converted into massive military upgrades. And Numudan is going for a lot of food.
Numudan is just a desperate little goose right now. For the gold, at least, he needs to get units out here. But at the same time, his wood lines are completely... They're running quite dry. This one is quite small that's left here. So he's moving out to the front ones, knowing that this is not going to be something he has access to forever. But 4 Manganiques definitely is not going to be something to scoff at. But Marinelord, he doesn't need to attack into the Manganiques. He gets to go straight to the base if he pleases.
Yeah, I can just go on top of the production and go on top of the TC, and I always switch to the right side of the map if he wants to, because that's kind of where all Numudan's eco is. Like, he has deer there, he has wood there, he has gold there. If he loses that position, it's over.
Now, with the Manganiques, he should do a decent job at holding this. And what I'm actually loving to see is that Marinelord has not gone for any Radari. And this is the first time we see Macedonians not going for Radari. And earlier when I was like, the answer is Radari, Radari, Radari. Oh, Dervishes as well. The Dervish timing is over. The Dervishes are not going to have that same effect. But Radari, a lot of players believe in the full Radari composition. But here we can see he is respectful. But the fire arrows are raining from above. Oh, that's just a lot of units though.
Oh, and they're clumped up so together, so the Manginique doing a lot of damage. He's trying to spread them a little bit. We got some line formation here and there. Death rates are dropping because they're not really a frontline unit. And the Manginique are getting surrounded, so they don't do that much effective damage anymore because they're just hitting a couple of units. We're also kiting a little bit, and Numudan taps out.
That was the most anticlimactic fight I had seen in my life.
And all of Numudan's eco was there. Like, if you lose that position, you lose the gold, you lose the food, you lose the wood. It's over. There's not no coming back from that.
Oh, Numudan, completely Numudan, as we saw that joke in Twitch. Thanks, guys. It was wonderful. But with this, you see the power of the ground army. The spearmen just didn't have an answer. Sure, the fire rocks raining from the sky, they're scary, but they're clearly not scary enough against units. And that's why mangonels, they are used for those archer clumps, but that's exactly what Marinelord knew and he was prepared for. So guys, let's go into the lobby and see what these guys are going to be playing next. I think at this rate, Numudan just has to ask himself, how do I take a game off of Marinelord? Because Marinelord, he's been at the top non-stop. No one takes down the Marinelord quite hard enough to really shut him down. But if Numudan has something in his arsenal, I would not have expected it to be Abbasid. Especially against Japan. Japan being something everyone bans. Sengoku, yes. Ottomans, yes. But Japan is always that number 3 on the list. But he decides he's got something cooking, and that thing is Abbasid. So, Abbasid, thoughts?
Yeah, Abbasid. They're known for like having a multi-TC play. So you go like Eco Wing, you go 2 TC, you go 3 TC. You have this upgrade in House of Wisdom, which gives you really cheap farms. So you could really boom with them, but they're kind of slow. And that's kind of the issue with Japan. They got such a huge tempo and they can get to castles so quick, and you got all those mounted samurai flooding your base. Even with a couple of camels, it's gonna be difficult to defend against all that aggression. Um,
Now,
yeah,
with
it's just a matter of can you survive as Abbasid?
So Abbasid, we've seen some shenanigans from Abbasid on this map specifically though. I recall a little time when MSN just used to make clown cars with the Abbasid here. And people would absolutely lose it. Dragovan, also one of those people, but let's go see if Numudan is going to be that spicy as we are ready to hop into game number 2 or number 3. Number 3.
Game number 3.
Wow, wowie,
You know,
wowie.
time flies when you're having fun.
Now, Marinelord here on the pink yet again. Oh, I love this for Marinelord. He's choosing the best color out there. That's my color. Meoasis and I have thought about this color as well. It's definitely the representative color here. And Marinelord, he knows what's important. But Numudan now on the Abbasid, he is up against a Dark Age rush. And Abbasid is not known for handling these too well.
Yeah, I don't really know if Numudan will expect it. Like, you can Dark Age rush with Japanese because the barracks is only 75 wood, so that's only half the cost of your average barracks. That's also why it's so good, because it's, yeah, not losing that much resources, you're not investing that much resources as others is. Yeah, the color pink, I'm more of a purple guy. You know, if I have to choose, it's gonna be purple.
Now, for the fact that you are wrong, I just wanted to show you the beautiful scout pattern. Even though they're running right next to each other, guys, we put a lot of effort into making this work. So you guys are going to watch these scouts run almost next to one another and appreciate the sheep that will follow. But I see a spear, and that spear, he is heading straight for the base. But the thing is, that is exactly what we see from the other side as well. So Numudan is going to know that the spear is coming. He's fully aware. The scout is going to know exactly where they need to land. But 4 on gold is already telling us exactly what we need to know. He is aware of this problem.
Yeah, and sometimes being wrong is being so much right. And Numudan gathering enough gold for the age up at least. Probably being forced in a military wing. Like, I like Eco Wing better, but Military Wing isn't that bad. You get 2 spears and you get 2 archers to push away the Dark Age aggression. And you still have Boot Camp, which gives your infantry additional health. So you have some good things in the Military Wing as well.
Marinelord didn't invest too much into this Dark Age rush, but with the 2 spears, you're kind of forcing your opponent not to think about that second TC either. So the Eco Wing, not necessarily something that you can easily go for on this map anyway, because usually with Eco Wing comes that second TC, and your stone being all the way in China, it hits a little bit harder than it would usually if you get rushed. But with Military Wing coming on out, he's going to have a response to this early game aggression. And Marinelord is going to need to invest a little bit more into responding to it as well. Because, of course, with that Dark Age rush, you easily get to go to your Castle Age. But Numudan is going to be able to stop that. Oh my goodness. That came from the soul.
Yeah, we didn't hear that. We just ignored. But yeah, all burps aside, I mean jokes. With the military wing coming up, he only has 76 gold, so he doesn't have enough for fresh foodstuffs. Fresh foodstuffs is an upgrade in the mill as Abbasid, which gives a discount on the food where you produce vills with, so you get cheaper vills. Also, not enough gold for wheelbarrow. Wheelbarrow is really nice to have. It's a big eco improvement as well. And yeah, he has to take back his gold first before he can get those eco upgrades.
Oh god. These things happen in front of 1,300 people at the same time. Guys, that is the beauty of Whamen. These things just happen. Ladies and gents, Marinelord, the 1 villager age up, he's looking at being feisty. He's looking at being a Castle Age man. And Numudan is going to need to force the problem. He's going to need to be that aggression that we saw from Beastie earlier. When he was playing against Myriad, he showed that you just can't be the greedy goose that spear rushes into Castle Age. So, is Numudan going to allow Marinelord to do that?
It's gonna be interesting. Like, Myriad has double wood line in front, which is always a little bit tricky, because if he can get in between, you can attack both wood lines. You're gonna run out of wood, and wood is so important, because wood is production buildings, wood is farm, wood is towers. You can't really survive without any wood. And also the goldfin is pretty accessible with the aggression. So 2 spearmen and 2 archers on the go. Do we have a stable in the base of Numudan?
Yes, the stable and barracks responding with both. And it makes sense. You want to make sure you're
we're going for the triple comp.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we're going for the triple comp.
And with those spears, you're going to have a wonderful time at shutting down any horse shenanigans at the early stages when he only has 1 samurai. But with this tower, he's hoping to stop that aggression. The problem is just, we saw how to do it earlier. was Numudan watching that game and taking notes to make sure he can do the same? Because keep in mind, even with his units being up front here, this is still a risky move. If he starts to lose these, he needs to pull back. He cannot afford to lose this. Every single one matters.
Yeah, a lot of damage already. And Marinelord at the first instance had a tower on the top side, maybe to protect his wood and all, but decided to put it on bottom. He has the spears in the tower, so they will always shoot. Maybe even get a fortified upgrade if he gets one more stone in. We see the ram coming out. Opposite has a free siege engineering, so they don't need a blacksmith and research siege engineering. They just can make rams from the get-go and make siege and castle also from the get-go. And Numudan is going to try and deny Marina's gold.
Now, Marinelord is trying to respond accordingly by getting these spears here as well. And I like this from Marinelord, making sure that he gets some form of a unit. But the problem here is, there's a ram. And rams are really good at surviving for spearmen. Now you can see, ooh, he has to back off a little bit here. He doesn't want to fight this at all. And it looks like this was enough. Marinelord deterring Numudan instantly, and those two archers just not going to be enough for him to feel confident in this push. Now, building up a significant portion more of wood, I was going to say, but instead getting a production building, going for the archery range. And I was waiting for this. Is getting your archers out is going to feel a lot better here because, of course, you need to answer to the spears. You know he doesn't have a stable. But Marinelord, he's changing the course of action. Going for a little bit more wood, he needs to be responsible about this. And he needs to get a response. And that response is going to be Yumi's. Disgusting.
Yeah. Marinelord recognizing the threat and not like, yeah, let's stubbornly go castle because I really wanted to go castle. He's recognizing the amount of units at the front of his door. He's recognizing this is a 1 TC opposite all in play. And he's reacting accordingly with the arrow slits on the tower. No fortified as of yet, but he does have the 1 stone. Hoping it's gonna come in soon. And it's gonna be the spear archer combo against the horseman spear archer for Numudan.
Now, this composition is still getting a little bit scary here as Marinelord does have the numbers to sustain this. It feels like this push is going to be a little bit harder. And, ooh, all of a sudden Numudan pulling back here. And I'm surprised to see that from him. He realizes, hey, maybe Marinelord's answer might just be a little bit too much. But I felt like he had the numbers here. He just did not feel that himself.
Yeah, Marinelord not over-investing in units and seeing him backing off, immediately stacking up some eco again, already on 800 food and 550 gold, so it's pretty close to that beloved castle where Japanese likes to go.
Alright, now Marinelord feeling a lot more confident in stopping production in the I was going to say swapping production in the military units, but queues up another bunch of Yumis. So Numudan also not too certain about where he wants to attack. You can see that with the movement of his ram. He's trying to re-angle, but clearly stating he's not feeling the confidence in this gold.
Yeah, he's going for the food because the Kira Star has already spawned some farms. There's a wood line there as well. He's trying to poke, see if he can get any reaction out of Marinelord. One horseman is getting lured into TC range. Is it gonna get sniped? It does take a little bit of damage. Archers shooting at the veil but not getting the kill. And Marinelord getting closer and closer to his beloved castle age.
Now, with that castle age, he is going to need the resources to make this happen, but you can see investing in a little bit more of an archery range here to make sure that he gets the numbers up to deny this. But Numudan, that number of horsemen is seriously growing, and the +1 range defense is going to make this a lot harder.
It's gonna be so difficult because Japanese have Yumi archers. They're a little bit faster than your regular archer. They're also a little bit cheaper, so you can more easily throw them away, so to speak. And you can kite a little bit better because they have a higher movement speed. So it's really difficult for those horsemen to connect and really kill them.
Now, with this type of swirling around, we can see he's just not sure about this. And very quickly, things are getting out of control here, I would say for Numudan. Because Marinelord is comfortably making this and just not able to get on through. Now, with all of that, we see quite a bit of a a struggle here with these making a little bit of a wraparound. And the floating gate is coming on out, but Marinelord has the units to defend this.
Yeah, really important to keep the scout alive so he can see what Numudan is doing and he can have the pressure on his army. He's just trying to show his strength, like I'm strong, I got a lot of units, you can't attack me while going to castle behind it. Only going castle with 6 fills, that's a really slow transition to castle, so to speak. But at least you're still gathering a lot of resources.
And with that, you can see he's trying to get as much wood in the bank at the same time. And I'm honestly wondering why this is. Just trying to do a little bit of a food transition behind this too.
Yeah, like a big mass of Yumu will always hit hard. Like if you get the double attack upgrade for archers, the double range attack. He already has the first one and is almost gonna get the second one, but Numudan trying to commit but can't really, like he's poking. Going for culturing himself now, trying to get fills on the gold as well, but Marinelord on top with his reactions and paying with a lot of units for it.
Yeah, just like this, quickly just sniping out what he can, but the floating gate is coming in and there's not much he can do about this. The problem is just, there's no stable, so no mounted samurai will be coming out here, but Numudan will have a pretty good answer to most, but it just feels like the culture wing is so far away at really doing anything.
Yeah, you still have to get the preservation of knowledge. That's a technology that reduces your research cost by 20%. So it's really nice if you get into a very long game, and even if you get to Imp, you get really cheap Imp upgrades. But that's still a long way out, and Marinelord just going ham on the Yumi. Already got 18 Yumi out, already got veterancy in. Soon the second attack upgrade will be in, and maybe a bannerman here for the Yumi, and then they do a insane amount of damage.
Now, with all of these Yumis, you have such a strong presence, but Numudan, it doesn't look like he wants to wait this... Oh, actually, it looks like he does want to wait this thing out. All of a sudden, just pulling back completely. And when you pull back in this position, you're telling your opponent exactly what the plan is here. You are waiting for your age up and your upgrades too. The problem is just, what is this going to...
Yeah, Marinelord going in, Bannerman on the way, the second attack rip almost finished. Those humans are really fast, they're gonna catch a lot of vills if you're not into position. Numudan age is up, scout going down.
Now, with this rotation here, Marinelord is going to be able to start picking off some villages. And very quickly, it looks like this is going to be a pretty deadly push here. Now, with Marinelord getting those units together, it feels like all of a sudden, this push is going to be something Numudan cannot respond to. Very quickly, the archer mass just piling up, and you can see him trying to get a mosque up, but Marinelord is the one on the front line ready to take this push.
Yeah, the knight coming up immediately gets a lot of damage because we only have one range defense and the archers really pack a punch. Meanwhile, Marinelord already transitioning into a couple of mounted samurai behind this, so we get this classic knight archer combination, and we got a big engagement here. Horsemen trying to force their way through to the Yumi. Spearmen trying to take out as much cavalry as possible. Knight going down again by the Yumi, and the Yumi can just guide all the way back and take good engagement for ages. Veterancy kicking in for the absent Numudan. Camel Archer right there to debuff cavalry that isn't there yet. More knights coming out, and those knights will chase those Yumi down.
Now, with all of this, we can quickly see these archers doing a ton of work against the lancers, and it shows you the power of the +2. Numudan just not able to remax any of these units, and quickly, the numbers are starting to add up. Numudan doesn't have the resources for this, and you can see this in the food per minute as well. Marinelord still gets to fall back on these external food sources, but now Numudan is on the siege. He's pushed off of every single resource. And just like that, Numudan, he's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, Marinelord has the map control, so he can go for the deer, he can go for the berries. Berries also a good food resource for Japanese. Meanwhile, Marinelord in the back of his base because he feels confident. He's trying to hunt those food sources of Numudan trying to shut him down for any food income where he can. Getting another monk right there, and even the camel goes down again. More knights trickling in and out, but one knight against so many Yumi, they will still take a lot of damage. Two knights already down before they even connect.
Now Numudan is very, very quickly running out of options here, giving those lances as sacrifice, and now archers just quickly getting overwhelmed by all these mounted samurais. And just like that, Marinelord takes the next game, now on match point yet again. Now guys, due to technical issues, I just need us to take a quick 3 to 5 minute break, and we will be right back. And then we will continue with a match point for the set. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. I had a little bit of a World of Tanks issue. I accidentally put a 7v7 team on a 3v3 map, like you do, of course. But luckily for us, this doesn't mean the end of the world for Age of Empires. This just means that we are seeing a nice little greedy goose Byzantines go for 3 villages on stone, and our green Numudan is looking at taking a round, or at least a match, from Mr. Marinelord.
Yeah, and the bottom and the color pink, playing as China, 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 is mate Marinelord.
China. Can you do a good China impersonation?
You mean a China man or a Trump yelling
A Trump,
China, China, China?
a Trump China, of course.
Yeah, I should ask Jiggly for that. Jiggly is a really good China, 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 China.
Now, with these two civilizations, we expect no dog egg shenanigans, of course. China is not something that will rush you, but oh my goodness, if it was, it would have been a great tower rush.
We still have the potential barbecue rush, which I'm hoping for, because Numudan going greedy on the stone, berry and gold next to each other. Like, I have hope. Like, I see chances.
Chances? Now, we have to take a look at...
Chances?
Ooh, the chances. Numudan, he's getting all the chances right now, with all the sheep being right there attached to his scout. What a happy man right now.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of sheep for our Byzantine player, so that means Marinelord has to go out on the map pretty soon to snack on some deer or some boar, so maybe a more defensive Barbican, but it's probably just gonna be the Imperial Academy because that's just such a solid landmark.
Now, Imperial Academy, time and time again, but with 5 villages. This is kind of... It feels like a little bit of a I'm rushing this up situation, because when you get into a spot where you want to build this with 5, with all of your building speed already part of your civilization, you want your imperial officials, and you want them now.
Yeah, this is definitely rushing up. Like, China has a double building speed compared with other civs. So usually you have like 2 or 3 building the Imperial Academy, and 5 is double. So it's like having 8 to 10 villagers rushing up the landmark, and he doesn't even have enough food for his... Oh, he does now for the Imperial... Yeah, the Imperial official coming out.
Now, with this, Marinelord is absolutely cooking. And when I say cooking, he's cooking a fast AF situation of getting something on the map to shut down the Byzantine greedy goose play. Now, of course, China's a civ here that loves to go pro scouts, but oh my goodness, I mean, okay, hear me out. If I had my 2 deer packs like this, it would be so easy to secure, but of course Byzantines, they are a very mobile civilization in themselves. But Marinelord, if he wanted to, he could just move here and do this. But of course...
I think he's just moving there. He doesn't have any villagers on gold, and he's pretty heavy on the wood and food. I think he's gonna make a lot of units to put on some aggression, and then just make a mill on the deer. Put an IO there with some vills and snack on all those deer.
He doesn't need to invest anything with that. That is just the beauty of this. And Numudan giving us a little bit of AoE 2 vibes with our double houses being built next to each other. I feel like everyone who has a little bit of a sensitivity when it comes to houses not being built properly, Numudan is here to save the day just for you as much as you need. But now, of course, Marinelord here, sitting with 9 on wood, He is the man ready to build that first production building. And let's see what the choice is. And it's none other, ladies and gentlemen, than a stable.
Yeah, we got a stable coming in, and those houses from the Byzantines, they have this special upgrade which improves their vision and their range. So you could spread those houses around your base, take that upgrade, and then they're basically like towers. You got a lot of vision of the map.
Now, he is trying to see exactly what Numudan might be cooking. And of course, this is exactly what you need. You need to know what your opponent is cooking, so that you don't run into any surprises there whatsoever. Marinelord is not the kind of guy who's going to get surprised. He is aware of anything and everything happening in front of his base. And right now, anything and everything that's happening in front of his base is going to be destroyed by horsemen. But at the same time, he's like, you can never be too safe. He's going for pro scouts anyway.
Wow, that's amazing. With so many villagers on gold and just getting that money from tax. Still wants all his food under his TC. It is pretty safe, of course. He's trying to raid it on the gold vein, but villagers already evacuated. We got some nice cistern play, like it's a nice square around it. And we got one cistern in the back to the berries.
Now, with level 4 cisterns, it feels good. And now with the connection online, level 5 is going to feel even better. If Numudan wanted to take a game off of Marinelord, this is the game to take. Because, of course, he has that eco advantage. He has the ability to just scale a bit better, especially with Marinelord now going for pro scouts. He's going to have a ton of food, but so will Numudan, and he'll get some oil out of it as well.
Yeah, the system has such a huge boost on the resource gathering, especially at water level 5. Like even water level 1 is already good, it's like 10% or something. So he already spamming out a lot of horsemen. He already getting a lot of oil from the berries. And I wonder what mercenary contract he will go.
The mercenary contract he needs is the one we see from every single player. And that is most likely going to be a bunch of longbows, but we can see how quickly people make mistakes with those. For Marinelord, he's investing every bit of food he's getting from these pro scouts into more horses. He knows the power of the cavalry. We've seen him on every single cavalry civ out there. He is an absolute menace. And now going for a handful of archers here as well. This is going to respond to all those handful of spears that Numudan wants to push out.
Yeah, already scouted the barracks and the first spearman coming in, so he can't really take that direct fight. All the deer on the same side, so he can't really pivot to the other side of the map. He needs to be on that side of the map, just because that's basically where all his food is. So it's gotta be intense micro, trying to save those scouts, trying to pull those deers in, and meanwhile taking out the horsemen of Numudan.
Now, these horsemen numbers are starting to get quite scary, and with Numudan investing in spears as well, he's got a response to the horses, but he's got a response to horses that have a little bit better of micro, because that's Marinelord. He's the micro king here. The man is going to be able to handle this with ease, but behind that, Marinelord's archers are going to provide that stable force you need to handle this. Numudan, though, going for those longbows, he knows that this is the unit he's going to need if he wants to snipe out any archers that dare step forward. But +1 range defense coming in first.
Yeah, that's something you usually see, because the longbows already have additional damage, so getting even +1 more damage makes them giga OP. This makes them dish out tons of DPS. But the Archer of Marinelord, they do like 5 damage, so having 1 range defense makes them only do 4 damage, but the horseman is still going down. So it's a reasonable choice, and Marinelord pushing out.
Now, this push is going to need to be careful, but at the same time, it also needs to do a bit of damage. Because, of course, you're still up against the Byzantines, and Byzantines, they are just going to scale so well into the late game. The longbows are stepping very far out of this base, though, and that might just be what he wants, as we see these archers trying to snipe down every bit of Limitanei they can. But the army from Numudan is still so scary. The archer numbers, they just don't do the same as the Limitanei would do if met with a bunch of horses as well.
Yeah, good engagement from Numudan because the horsemen can't really fight because there are spears in the mix, and the archers, they are trying to kite but still getting a lot of damage. Luckily Marinelord got back to his base, so he's safe again, but he did lose a couple of military vills, but in the meantime did manage to get back in the deer because he put Numudan back into his base. Horsemen going out to the deer pack again, trying to intercept more scouts.
Now, behind all of this, you have to ask yourself, is Numudan gonna actually find the damage that, you know, he wants to find as a man who's playing against Marinelord? It's not just about the fact that you are playing a civilization that scales a little bit better, at least at this stage of the game, but it's rather about your opponent's ability to survive, your opponent's ability to really capitalize on your mistakes, because the longer the game goes, the more mistakes you are prone to make.
Yeah, if we can switch to the destroyed value and army value tab, we can also see how much army they both have, and we do see that Numudan has a little bit more and has a little bit more destroyed, so it's feeling a little bit more comfortable. Also has 5 systems equals really good, even though China has more food income right at the moment because she's snacking on their rich survival techniques and being supervised, but at some point that will run out and the systems will always stay online.
Now, with all of this, we do see a little bit of a connection happening here, and Marinelord taking that fight, but he's not sniping those longbows like you would need to see from him. Quickly, Marinelord, he's the one absolutely getting cleaned up by a lot of these, but the limited A numbers are non-existent, and apparently the horses from Numudan are just looking too good here, with both +1 attack. Ooh. Finally, it does look like the archer numbers are going to be scary enough to start hammering away at these longbows, but the horse numbers, they're here to back up, and they are looking good.
Yeah, Marinelord having a lot of archers and not barely not enough longbows to one-shot those archers. But Numudan does have more frontline. He does have more horses, but it's so close because it's only a couple of horses, and even if you have like 2 or 3 archers left, if it's against 18 archers, they're still not gonna take any damage and they will still die and not really clean up the archer ball of the opponent. Numudan deciding to back off.
Now, Numudan getting just equal in that fight is already what he needs to just get. With all of this, he's in a pretty solid spot to just keep on going with these fights and putting that pressure on his opponent. Now, of course, this is a pretty tough spot nonetheless. The archers from Marinelord starting to get quite scary, and with them going to get veterancy as well, these horsemen might just melt like butter.
Yeah, I just want to say it's insane that the army value is that close and the destroyed value is that close, but Marinelord already going up to castle, and Numudan does have resources in the bank, but still missing on like 500 food, and then still needs time to get to that age up. Meanwhile, Marinelord already in castle age, already gonna queue up those veteran upgrades. It can already drop down a monastery pretty soon and take those juicy relics.
Now, it does seem to be the case that Numudan is gonna have to think about what this means for him, and what this means is also just a castle age, a responsible transition into the farms as the sheep are starting to run a little lower. Now, with the Golden Horn Tower coming up, it is definitely not for the best position to be in when your opponent is looming around your base looking for a little bit of damage. Because, of course, your upgrades are still going to take a while. The villagers quickly pull to rush up that tower. They need this fast, but there might be a few casualties. Ooh, quick response here, though.
Yeah, good timing by Marinelord trying to get Numudan with his pants down, but it's only archers and still a lot of horsemen in the field. Even if they're feudal against veteran archers, horsemen really pack a punch against archers because they do bonus damage. Meanwhile, the longbow take a good couple of changes as well, and Numudan almost castle already, and then just as his towers up and can camp behind his TC until the upgrades are finished.
Now, with this upgrade coming in, it is going to be quite hard to handle, but we do see this is going to take a while to settle. Villagers are fighting this as well.
Oh, this is not good. Villagers fighting, and villagers even trying to engage against those archers. A couple of them losing their lives, like, oh, maybe that's not the best idea. Running into those arrows, they pretty hurt. Meanwhile, Scout's getting attacked by Horsemen of Numudan as well. He does manage to push Marinelord back, but did lose 4 vills for it.
Now, it does seem to be the case that Marinelord here is getting quite a bit of food at the end of the day. He's able to snack on most of the deer, but of course the back deer pack was available for Numudan to get. But Mangonel towers are now being researched, and that will very much occur against this composition of Marinelord. But Marinelord, he looks like he just wants to go for that pure Lancer composition, and I am here for it. With Lancers, you are not too worried about those longbow.
Oh, he has plenty of archers against potential spears, so we get the classic knight against archer combo again. On the other side, we have the cataphracts with the longbows, so they're 2 special units. We really excel at what they do, like they're really stronger than your average knight and stronger than your average archer, but they are a bit more expensive. Meanwhile, Monk trying to get that relic in the middle, and a raid happening on the goal. A couple of lancers going in, not getting a kill of a vill as of yet, meeting the cataphract. One villager finally going down, second vill going down, and going back a little bit too early, and it cost him his life.
Now, with all of that, it looks like Numudan is putting himself into such a bad, tough position, losing all these longbows, and it just doesn't seem like he's going to bring up an answer to anything Marinelord is offering on the table. Even with that huge economic leak that we do see from the Byzantines, it feels like it is impossible right now for him to actually just recover 14 dead villagers, and Numudan, he is bleeding oil and units.
During the fight in the middle, he lost all his vills on the barriers against those 2 lancers raiding. That's the multitasking that those top players can do, and losing a lot of those longbows were devastating as well, because you can't really mess them up that easily. Like, you need oil, and they come off the mercenary house, but you can't spam them like English does from their archery ranges. In the backside, the raiding party is getting cleaned up, but they did their job. They killed like 10 vills. It's okay, it's alright.
Now, it does seem to be the case that Numudan is trying to still just go into the longbows, but the longbow numbers are just not able to recover at that same pace. But now Landsknecht are coming out here from the Golden Horn Tower. He needs to find an answer to these lancers, and the lancers are just not responding to these cataphracts.
Yeah, Numudan lost map control, so he's going for these olive gardens next to his TC, next to the Golden Horn Tower, because he can't really get food on the map anymore. So that's a big investment in those farm transition. Meanwhile, Marinelord still has his deer under his TC, can still move to the board, can still move to the berries, putting up Barbican of the Sun, so we get Song Dynasty and get those granaries up and farms whenever he wants to.
Now, with all of this, this does seem to be the case that we are going to have a difficult time here for Marinelord to actually get shut down. With Barbican of the Sun, we have Song Dynasty coming in, and all of a sudden, we are in a position where Numudan is not able to break him. And now that eco lead is just going to increase for Marinelord.
Yeah, Song Dynasty means you get faster vills, just like the French, you get faster vills with Song Dynasty. So 1 TC is just enough against the 1 TC of the Byzantines. You already have some relics in as well. Song Dynasty also gives you access to the granaries. This is a building which boosts food income from farms if you build them around them. You can even supervise them for even more food if you want to. So Marinelord is just setting up for the late game.
So with all of this, now you get into just constant raiding from every single angle, and Numudan doesn't have the economy really set up to, respond to this constant pressure. The relics as well, Marinelord is just snacking every single one, and the last one is very safely tucked behind his base. He's got the boar under full control, and now the berries still on his side. He doesn't even need to think about the farm transition just yet. But with the extra monastery coming out, he's finally finding a little bit of refuge for the 5th relic to go straight into his economy.
Yeah, I mean, you're taking even more upgrades. The 2nd food upgrade coming in as well. Real Baron finally dropping in, even building up some sort of fortified towers, so you can't easily burn them with a couple of cataphracts. Numudan's just sitting in a base like he really wants to get out there, but he's scared for what he's gonna meet on the field.
Now, it does look like every patch of berries is going to be utilized, so Numudan does not need to slow down, but the problem is he's already dead on arrival. We can see the farm transition is desperately trying to expand, but it is so susceptible to raids, and you can see this deadly army just waiting to go and do the real damage. Two lance, or just a lance and a scout trying to find some damage in a wood line, but Numudan pulls back just in time so he doesn't actually suffer the damages.
Yeah, we're gonna check what Marinelord's doing. He's taking some sacred sites as well, because they give 100 gold a minute as well, and you get that sacred victory timer going. Like if you have all sacred sites and you can manage to keep them for 10 minutes, you also win the game. Like you don't need to kill your opponent. Numudan going out on the map. He's gonna meet the force of Marinelord in the middle. 3 vills there, eyeballing those cataphracts and running away right now.
Now, it does look like this is a push for Numudan that he feels like he needs to do the damage in, and that is the case. But we do have a few strays running around here just trying to find their own bit of damage. Both of these players playing it quite passively at this point.
Yeah, and Marinelord seeing a lot more cataphracts than he expected, I assume, because he immediately queued textile. It gives you your village additional health so they don't die too quickly, but also immediately queues a lot of crossbows. But going back into more lancers now, because he thinks he can outmass the amount of cataphracts and then just go for the surround and have the more massive units and kill them all.
Now, we hear a wolf trying to be the MVP of the game, and we have seen all the relics has gone over to Marinelord. So switching back over here, we can now just take a look at that army value. It looks pretty thin, I would say, even though Marinelord is a little bit behind in the army value. These are cataphracts. So cataphracts, they are going to do a great job at the survival. But all of a sudden now, I've been dooming and glooming poor Numudan here, but this fight might actually be really scary for Marinelord. He did a significant chunk of damage. His income is looking good. But the later this scales, Numudan has a few farms. Marinelord is starting to set that up, but it is also very, very exposed.
Well, the thing that worries me is the fact that Numudan doesn't have any eco upgrades, like 0. And Marinelord has a double horticulture, like double food, double mining camp, 1 wood. That's such an insane amount of difference in eco income. Meanwhile, tower getting burned down, village running away, trying to survive so they can gather for another day. And Numudan's carrying away because he got a decent army, like he's got a big chunk of army, but I feel Marinelord is just scaling better.
Now, Marinelord's army is looking scary. The Landsknecht in between, they are going to be pretty easy to pick off in these low numbers for now. But I mean, low numbers, 9 is not that low after all. But Marinelord's wood is looking good, so this means a farm transition is imminent and it's going to be swift. Now the archers doing their best at really doing some damage against these cataphracts, and it's working.
Yeah, crossbows dealing out damage. Those archers taking out those Landsknechten because they do additional damage. So Landsknecht can't really connect, and they're going for these towers. I don't think that's intentional. I think that's more of an attack move. Those archers, it would be better for them to hit some units. Marinelord getting some good trades in and falling back again to mess up because he knows he has the better eco.
Now, with all of this, I see Marinelord is just completely falling falling with all of his units. But the problem, it's not enough. His eco is just too good, and the food income is absolutely disgusting here. Now, all of a sudden, Numudan is just... His cataphracts are doing the work, but eventually this feels like it's going to get thinned out more. Marinelord's Lancer numbers, they are a little bit tamed, at least for now. But the farm transition is, again, looking healthy. Numudan, though, same thing. Both of them just getting that food up and running. Marinelord's still out on the ball, but it should expire any moment now. There's, as we can see, it's almost there. The tower doing an insane amount of work, but you can see Marinelord, he wants to keep that going.
Yeah, and the most important thing the tower is doing is buying Marinelord time, because he was almost losing that fight there. Like his whole front line was at the point of collapse, but in time he pulled back, and Numudan didn't really want to commit because he was scared, and now the tower bought enough time to remass his army. Marinelord was floating a little bit, but spending a lot of resources again, and he's got double the amount of gold income, and he's got so much more wood to work with. It's only food where he's lacking a little bit, but once all those farms around the granaries are done, and he's got a couple of Imperial officials supervising those granaries, he's gonna have an insane amount of food to work with.
Now, with all of this, these guys are in an amazing spot to be able to just wait it out a bit. You can just see with Marinelord already banking up all the gold. He's in a decent spot. That food income is about to skyrocket with all these farms just being online. And he gets that map control pretty easily. But with these towers, that's going to be even smoother. You can see Numudan trying to capitalize on his civilization's special ability of getting mangonel towers to try and get control of this map. But with the villagers out here, they're going to start getting more and more exposed. Honestly, I'm a little surprised to see Marinelord not constantly raiding its lances though.
Yeah, both are just trying to get as much vision from the map as possible. Like the tower in the middle of the cliff side, it gives you a lot of vision. So it gives a couple of options into siege. We see Numudan pushing. He's only pushing the bill from the tower away. A couple of longbows trying to raid, but they're gonna pay with a couple of lives from them. But the cataphracts are gonna save them. Meanwhile, we see the astronomical clock tower coming up. It's an H3 landmark of the Chinese, which gives you the Yuan dynasty, and also gives you the ability to make pagodas. Pagodas, special building. If you put a relic on it, you get way more resources than if you just put it on a monastery.
Those pagodas are going to feel good. You only get to have 3, but that is going to be 300 food per, or 300 gold per minute, 186 food, 186 wood, and a bunch of stone in there as well. 75 stone per minute adds up so quickly, and you get to reinforce your towers pretty easily at that. So now Numudan, even though he's got that Byzantine's economy, he's just not in the same spot as Marine. Both of them still, I'm just surprised to see how neither of them are feeling that confidence in raiding.
Yeah, I think both are just thinking about that it's a match point and they just don't want to give the game away, like give a throw. Marinelord already having almost 4,000 gold, so he can easily go to the Imperial Age whenever he wants to, but he first wants to get his pagodas up. Pagodas have such a quick return of investment, like in a couple of minutes you already get the resources back that you invested in it, and after that they only give you more resources, so it's only bonus. We see a stone wall in the middle coming up, just next to the army of Marinelord. So the Great Wall Gatehouse is going to be placed there.
Now, with this type of push that we see from Marinelord, he's just trying to deter. He's trying to deter and get Numudan to focus straight on the Great Wall Gatehouse at the front, even though the farms look to be a little bit exposed. And honestly, I'm quite surprised to see them not being covered, even by any sort of protection, but Marinelord is feeling confident in this. And with all the gold in the bank, every Imperial Age upgrade is going to come in so smoothly.
Yeah, and the Imperial upgrades are getting queued already, and we also see the Imperial incoming from Numudan, so it's gonna be the classic late macro game, which Numudan really loves. He's known for being player going for these late games, but Marinelord pretty confident in all sorts of positions, and taking out the tower in the middle to try take away the vision of Numudan, and Numudan trying to repair it as best as he can.
Now, quickly, the trebuchet doing the work, and this is a beautiful clock towered trebuchet, so it does have that extra HP and won't just be taken down by a little all raid. But for an engineering company coming out all the way here at the back, it just means that Numudan wants to face this. The problem is just, I kind of like Marinelord's army, and I like his timing here, because right now this is when he chooses to attack, and this attack is going to hurt. Longbows are just not going to be able to handle this type of lancer push, but we do have a mangonel tower that's going to be able to fire down on these archers. The lance is doing a great job at pulling back. They do have their elite upgrade now, and the longbows, but the longbows, they're all going to die.
The longbows don't have the lead upgrade yet. The cataphracts need to be there for the tanking, but there's not enough damage yet. It's gonna be a huge fight for Marinelord. Front line against front line. A couple of lancers diving inside the eco cataphracts, trampling on the back line of Marinelord's back archers. A lot of units are going down, and it's gonna be difficult for Marinelord to win this fight. Surely but slowly, he's losing more units than killing.
That was crazy. The fact that this was the fight for Marinelord, those longbows were melting, but apparently the cataphracts were just not the dark horse, just the horse. And it was the horse they needed. Now 30 village elite for Marinelord, but again, this is under the cisterns. So it just doesn't feel exactly the same. Numudan, is Numudan just ready to try and make a difference here? Because of course, now Marinelord does have the sacred sites. That feels great and all, but that was a pretty heavy fight for Marinelord. He does have the
That
resources
was
to replace it.
yeah, that's the thing. This is an amazing fight for Numudan, and he has a small window to capitalize on that. Like if you can get on top of the production or you can dive into the eco, but if you look at the resources a minute, Marinelord has so much more resources to work with. If you just get like a minute to remass, it's just a reset and nothing more than that.
Numudan just had an irreplaceable army deleted. So Numudan, all things considered, he did a decent trade there, but now these elite longbowmen are barely tickling these lances. Lances just soaking up anything and everything that's their step near them. And now the Sacred Side victory is feeling scarier and scarier as time progresses.
We got some ping notification at the bottom of Marinelord's base. I don't know if it's a wolf. I expect it to be a wolf. A lot of villagers just dodging that right there because the Lancers came back to destroy the gate and they just walked past like there was nothing wrong. Like you don't see me, just move along please. A couple of villagers losing their life trying to repair the gate and the spearmen are chasing them away.
Now, Numudan is doing his best at trying to keep this dream of his life, of coming to Serbia. Honestly, from Sweden, you might be thinking, yeah, this is not necessarily the holiday location you were hoping for, but it will definitely be the biggest cultural shock of anyone's life. Coming from those first world countries, even Marinelord, the man needs to be prepared because this looks like he is ready to close this out, and all of a sudden, 30 dead villagers on the side of Numudan just starts to feel a lot heavier for him to make a comeback from here.
Yeah, it's a double amount of eco upgrade and eco wheels. It's 175 pop against 150, and Marinelord is throwing away his army one other time into the breach, trying to take out as many units as possible. Numudan pushing him back for now, but Marinelord's kiting with all those hand cannoneers, and hand cannoneers they do so much damage, and Lancers they are such a good frontline unit, and slowly but surely Numudan is throwing away his own army and the longbows won't be able to take this out.
Now, this is just a pretty cleanup, a big cleanup here from Mr. Marinelord, making it look like Numudan's units are just made of paper, and in essence, that's what these longbows are made of. Lancers just working through everything. Numudan held on to a dream, the dream of taking one game off of Marinelord, but the dream was all in vain. Hand cannoneers going up against the cannon, no match, but luckily they've got a front line of elite lancers, and quickly, Numudan, he's given it his all, but he has had enough.
He is giving it all, but it's another Marinelord win, and that means that Marinelord once again didn't even drop a single map. That's pretty impressive.
Now, with all of this, we can see that Marinelord is going through to Serbia, and that said, the man is also ready for his interview. So, Marinelord, welcome. Now, after this little bracket, did you feel at any point a little bit scared in this journey, or are you feeling pretty confident in your gameplay currently?
Yeah, I feel very confident, but I practice with Numudan, so I know it's very good. So we never know. I think it's insanely unlikely he wins 4 maps, but yeah, it's not impossible, I think.
Now,
And like, sorry.
no,
I was gonna say,
I
most
was,
people below top 10 don't really have a chance, but I think Numudan is one of them that kind of have a chance, I think.
that's what I was going to ask you, and I'm sorry, we just keep yapping over. It is what it is, you know, women. So, we when you look at how Numudan played today and you compare it to the others, do you think he has that shot at those last 2 spots as well?
Yeah, I think the 2 favorites should be Numudan and Baltun for sure. Maybe Demu, but I'm not sure if he's doing too well. Okay, if I had to pick right now. But I'm not sure how the seeding is gonna work, so if they can beat or not. But I will guess not, so maybe Baltun and Numudan should be favored. And I practice with both of them right now, so I know they're pretty good.
Oh, so if people want to practice for Wololo and they need to get your secret strategies, we know how to reach out, who to reach out to.
Yeah, I
So,
guess.
how are you feeling? Because of course this event takes place after Wololo. How do you feel about your chances right now to take the biggest event of the year, actually?
Do you speak about this one or the
And then the
Wololo?
Wololo, of course.
Okay. I think it's pretty high. Like, I don't have insane chance because obviously, like, my opponents are very good right now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think I'm pretty favored. And I think if I just play decent, it's gonna be fine. Plus, every time I go to Red Bull, I feel very confident and I just feel like I play my best. And I think other people tend to not play as good because maybe nerves or like, I don't know. Stuff happens, right? But to me, it's more like I get better when I get on stage and I play bigger match, unlike some other people.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh,
I think, yeah, should be good.
yeah, usually the biggest question is whether people crack under the live pressure. And I've seen that from a lot of our players. They just perform differently from how they are live compared to online. I think Baltoon is one of those few people that I feel like he, at a live event, actually shines a little bit brighter than just online. So, yeah, no, I guess for just the future, who do you think is your biggest opponent right now?
I mean, I think most of the time, the people that are the scariest to me are the people I can't really watch. So, for example, Lucifron didn't do too well at the Red Bull qualifier, but I think now he's a little bit practicing in a secret. So maybe Lucifron is gonna be good. And I feel like obviously everyone is good, but Vortex, Whamen, and everyone else, I tend to watch them more. So I don't really feel scared because I just know what they're gonna do. But yeah, Lucifron, I don't know, is good. I don't know. Maybe a little bit everyone is okay, but I don't really feel scared about anyone.
Oh, I'm glad to hear this confidence in all of it because at the end of the day, you want to be the best, and so far it's looking pretty good. So, any final parting words before we let you go and move on with your life until April?
I mean, a shout out to my sponsors, to my people, and that's it. Thanks to you guys for organizing this tournament. And see you soon, I guess.
Yeah, see you soon in Serbia.
Yeah,
I'm
see you
excited for
soon.
it.
All right.
All good. So,
We'll
guys.
see ya.
That was the Marinelord Chad. Guys, thank you so much for joining. Again, if you want to go support our event, please head over to ageofrts.com. We have all of our details in there. OPDVLAM, thank you so much for joining me today. I have to go fix World of Tanks brackets because players are waiting for me as well. So
Yeah, you got priorities. Yeah.
the real job is waiting for me, guys. The passion,
Yeah.
it needs to wait until next weekend. So we'll see you back here on Friday for our last weekend of the Homestead Cup Qualifiers. Thank you for all the support. And OPDVLAM, anything else you want to say?
I want to thank everybody for watching and supporting the event in general, and we'll see you next.
Oh, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. You'll see us next week. And get yourselves ready, because this is going to be a good one. The final last two spots. Are you Team Tuna? Are you Team Valdi? Or is Numachad the one for you? Guys, thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.